always running a business that was globally distributed with people in lots of different locations. But now moving into this lockdown situation, has that changed that or made it even harder, or was it just business as usual?
I mean, there's two sides of it, right? The internal operations of the business didn't change and were not impacted by things. I'd love to say that I forecasted something like this and set things up accordingly, but there's no way that I forecasted something like this. It was just what worked for our business from the beginning. And so we weren't impacted from that perspective. From a client's perspective, you know, some were pausing, some were reducing budgets, despite saying this is the time of doubling down. There were just uncertainty in the market. So we were impacted by that. And then it made us think, you know, instead of from a selfish perspective, it was like, well, what's actually needed out there? And there was businesses closing. There was guys that, you know, running plumbers, electricians, restaurants, bars, all this kind of thing. There were local businesses that were that were shut down, and they're not business people. They're good at their trade or their skill set. And it just made us think, you know, what is a way that we can help those people through this time? And you know, they're desperate for help. It was interesting because what we typically provide as part of our services for sort of medium to enterprise clients is we'll work on different channels. We'll work on SEO, we'll work on ads, or whatever is required of us. But when it comes to small business, they just do not care what channel you're talking about, what any of that means. They just need business growth. They just need leads coming to the business. So we had to change our mindset around if we are going to try and help some of those smaller businesses, what's the approach going to be and what are we actually going to do for them? And that's give them actual leads that people interested in their service at the time. And it doesn't matter how or where they come from, because the business doesn't care.
No, because they have a much shorter horizon when it comes to the revenue. And if you don't have the revenue, you don't have the cash. If you don't have the cash, well, you have a problem.
Yeah. And it's also like there's many other aspects that come into it. You know, for instance, we're helping out mortgage brokers at the moment. A lot of them didn't get into the business because they were business people who know how to generate, you know, do marketing, sales, know how to generate growth and all of that kind of thing. They wanted to do what their service was. And even businesses that provide, I'll give you 20 leads or whatever it is per month, that still is not enough for these people, because they'll think, okay, I've got a name, an email and a phone number who indicated they wanted help. They'll call them once, they don't get through to them, and they're like, it's just junk, it was rubbish. Yeah. The reality is that these people there's nurturing that needs to happen, there's training, there's sales, closing, there's a lot of education and consulting that needs to happen all the way through the process. And we found that to be quite effective and helpful for these businesses.
Are there any new tools, new apps, trends that you see that, you know, help these businesses more that probably wasn't there 6 months ago or 12 months ago?
Looking outward, I'm not sure. For us internally, we're actually providing like a system with what we're doing for these clients. So they're put into software and CRM that we're operating so that leads are nurtured all the way through. They're called, they're emailed, they're whatever it is, so that there's scheduled booked calls. So we're trying to, I often feel like putting that on the plate of the small business owner is not the right way to do it, because they're doing plenty of other things and they don't have the skill set to be operating something like that. So we try and manage it all the way through the process, and they can have access to that CRM and often do, but it's not something you sort of throw over the fence and hope that they're just going to say, here's another tool. You know, a plumber operating an app on a phone, it's not necessarily a match, right?